Let's gather around the campfire and sing each other some campfire songs. How do you reduce your screen time? I'm sure if you're watching this video, you might have a lot of screen time, or you might be using, a good chunk of your time to just go and watch how you can reduce it. Or maybe you're trying to improve yourself in some way. Whatever the case may be, I have a solution for you, and it's free, but it's also going to have like a lot of willpower and a lot of choice that you need to make. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So, what are the reasons and motivations for wanting to reduce your screen time? I know this day and age we use our phone a lot. Like this thing right here has a lot of control and a lot of power over our life, and we do a lot of things with it. I'm gonna throw it onto my bed. Um, and we tend to want to focus on other things that are more productive and important in life. I'm sorry, but I don't want to spend 3 or 4 hours a day doom scrolling on my phone watching a guy who launches TNT halfway across the map in Minecraft and snipes some kids. Yes, that triggers my, dopamine and, I get a lot of enjoyment out of that, but that's not really the best use of our time. So we really want to be focused on and be forward and future looking about what are things that we can do instead of this that can also give us that same effect. And part of that is managing your time effectively. So when you manage your time effectively, you can get more things done that are probably more important than doom scrolling. And I mentioned doom scrolling because it's probably the most like prevalent form of I guess time and how much we actually use our phones, and not for things that are generally productive. But I do think the phone is a good way to allow you to be productive if you use it in the right way. For instance, it's a good thing if you can move on the go and do tasks as you're moving around. Whereas, if you're sitting or driving in a car, you can't really like use your phone. Well, I mean, you can, but you probably shouldn't. Whereas, like if you're on a bus and you're taking public transport, you can do all these things on your phone. The difference is that like one, you could have to go on your laptop and do something on your laptop, or you can be on the go while you're off to somewhere or going to do something that's as equal of importance, and also use your phone to be able to do some of those things. Um, this is sort of adjacent. This last point here, reduced cognitive decline. Like you want to not be retarded. This more has to do with AI and LLMs, but I feel like if I continuously watch, I don't know, everything that is on Instagram Reels or YouTube and all this AI slop stuff, I'm probably going to become more stupid over time, and I'm going to lose my train of thought and various different words that I would want to use in this situation. I mentioned in the previous video I recently forgot the word luggage when I was at an airport and I could not figure out what the word luggage was or what I was trying to describe. So if that's not proof enough, so MIT, they did a study, this was almost a year ago now, when you're using AI or you're using ChatGPT, here are the points that I basically want to point out. One is that you're going to become more retarded. That's just like fact of the matter. Like you have a reduced cognitive decline, or you will have a cognitive decline in terms of your ability to think, reason, and just you'll just not as intelligent as you were before. Um, One, you're over relying on these tools. Two, you're consuming brain rot and like very bad content that is just like dopamine stimulation for your brain. And as you use it more, and it's because of these algorithms that are developed, because you use it more, it becomes more addicting. You cannot tell me that once you see one of these like sort of like reels that piques your interest. I don't know, some guy doing like NCS sounds on Omegle. He goes and then you see, oh, he has another one. Oh, he has a whole page. Oh, he has a YouTube, and you start going down this rabbit hole. It becomes more addicting. And so it's important that you realize that once you start using it more and more, it's going to become more and more addicting, and it's going to be harder to stop. And that's because algorithms impede your emotions. They want to target those emotions and have you trigger that, dopamine effect, or have you find content that is emotionally or logically appealing to you. So we need to stop that. Um, and so I'm gonna give you an example here from Fanboy and Jump Jump. If you know these guys, bro, they be farting, they be on side quests. It's basically like what came after like Adventure Time, or around the same time, but very cool show. But what they have to say basically is doom scrolling will ruin your mind. Like I said, like you'll become more stupid as you start to consume a lot of that more content. And also, this is like another, I guess, underrated point. There's some people who don't doom scroll, but there's other people that go on like X, Reddit, whatever it may be, and they get involved in drama, and that drama really does like shape your character. Like I don't, for me personally, and it might be different for everyone. I don't want to be around people who are involved in drama or actively seek to be invested in drama. That's just not healthy. That is just like a very bad mindset and characteristic to have. That's just me personally. I just don't want to be involved in it. I want to focus on myself and other people that are around me that are not, involved, that sort of thing, to support one another in that sort of way. You're also not focused on your goals at all. If you're doom scrolling, you cannot tell me that doom scrolling is your job. Shut up. Don't say that. There are people that, do clipping and stuff and they can make money that way, but that is like 0.01% of the population until YouTube bans it. And the long-term consequences, like I said, like you become more stupid, it becomes addicting, and I guess, like emotions rely on it a lot. Same thing with GPT and stuff like that. Like a lot of people who started coding and they started using AI, they can't think. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But here's an example that I want to give, just about, I guess, how much you use your screen time per day in terms of hours and what that means long term. So let's say Fanboy, this is Fanboy. He is using his screen. Has screen time. He's looking on his phone, doing whatever he's doing, productive or not. Is 7 hours a day. But in the long term, he's going to use a screen blocker, and for the next 4 months, he's going to reduce his screen time by 30 minutes each month. That's a pretty good goal. That's a pretty realistic goal, I would say. And he uses this extra time instead of doom scrolling. Excuse me. Each of those 30 minutes can be used towards his goals. I don't know. Maybe he wants to buy a car. Maybe he wants to move into a new apartment. Whatever it may be. Then we have Chum Chum. Chum Chum's over here. He has 3 hours a day. He doesn't use a screen blocker, but he has some self-control and stuff like that. But he continues to doom scroll. So what can we make of these two situations? Well, I can tell you one, that Chum Chum, regardless of 3 hours a day on his phone, he's still going to be more stupid, and he's going to have a very, I don't know, mid and neutral appealing character. If that's like what to say, I don't know. He's just not going to be my favorite person in the world if he continues to doom scroll and just becomes more stupid and he has involved in all this drama, and is not focused on his goals, but he has a lot more time. But the fact that he continues to do it and doesn't use a screen blocker to possibly reduce his more time is not going to make me, like him anymore. And so we could do a calculation here. So let's assume that they're like in their 20s, and they expect to live to 80, so that's around 60 years. Um, Chum Chum over here, he's going to have 3 hours a day times 60 years, which is like 365 times that, which is this many hours, which is 11.25 years on the phone. That's a lot of time. Imagine for a whole decade you are stuck on your bed and you just look at your phone. That's a long time. I don't want to be doing that. But realistically, in the long term, even with only 3 hours a day, you spend around a decade on your phone, which is crazy to me. And that's assuming that, I mean, that's waking time, which basically assumes that, for 16 other hours, you are one, either half of that is like sleeping and the other is like productivity, by the way. So for any people who want to go correct me in the comments, later on. But let's take a look at Fanboy. So Fanboy now, he's at 7 hours, which is more, but he's making the choice to, I guess, continue to reduce his screen time. So it's 7 hours times 60 years. So that's 26.25 years on your phone. That's 2.5 decades sitting on your bed, rotting on your phone. That's not really good. Think about, and even if you're 25 right now, imagine the whole 25 years you were just stuck in a blank room doing nothing, and you couldn't do anything about it. That's basically what's happening here. But he has the added benefit that he is actively going to reduce his screen time. This is the reduction part that I have here. Now, in this reduction part, it's basically, if by month 4 he reduces screen time by 3 hours a day, or I guess it's more. I did the math wrong here. But anyways, let's say he gets down to 1 hour a day. Then that's 1 hour times 60 years. That's 21,000 hours. That's only 3.75 years on your phone. That's only basically using your time on your phone 1 hour a day for basic necessities. And by basic necessities, I mean maybe transport slash maps, text slash phone calls at a bare minimum. So probably only those two, honestly. In reality, you only need like a pencil and paper to do 90% of the things that are automated by apps. Because in past time, anything that we have done on pencil and paper or any other device has been possible without the use of apps before. It may be more productive and more efficient, and sometimes we might spend a little bit more time on it, but we don't get to use our phone in any sort of way. But that's besides the point. So now you can see, basically, Fanboy, by doing this gradual reduction over time, which is very realistic, he's able to achieve basically a whole lot of years less than Chum Chum, and he's using his time for goals and does not continue to doom scroll. Now, I think that's pretty good. I don't know about you, but 3.75 years over 26 years is pretty good. I don't know. So how can you do this? How are these people blocking like their apps and stuff like that? Okay, so let me tell you, this video is not sponsored, but I've been using this app. So it's called Opal, and it's basically a screen time blocker. And after you use this, you will probably be very happy with yourself because you're able to accomplish a lot more. So you're like, ho, you know. But basically, it does three things. So one is that it'll lock you out of your distracting apps. So for me, this is basically the following. Let me draw some arrows here. For me, this is any games that I have on my phone, social media, um, and I guess adult websites. I will say adult websites because um, I'm not monetized or anything, but I don't want to get age restricted. So yeah, those are the three main things. There's settings for each of them. You just basically click what app um, you want to be blocked, and it blocks it for you. But how does it do that? Well, it's a bunch of computer networking stuff. But anyways, you have an option to take a break, which is fair. Sometimes after you study for 6 hours, or maybe you have a 9 to 5 or something, you really want to break. It'll give you a cognitive mind game instead of letting you, I don't know, doom scroll, go on the app, and you can only set it a break for a maximum of 15 minutes and overtime as well. So let's say, okay, let's do another arrow here. So let's say I have, I don't know, let's say I take 5 breaks in a day. I have 5 breaks in a given day that I want to use. You can set this as well. But on the first break, it's going to be like, okay, first break, and you have low screen time. It's going to take 10 seconds for you to load that screen for you to be able to, I guess, have that break. But then the next time, it's going to increase. So I guess like the second time, the second break, it's going to be like, oh no, 45 seconds. The third break, it's going to be like 1 minute, 30 seconds. So basically, it is allowing you to not take breaks because, I don't know, they're technically unnecessary. But it's going to get you, it's going to make it very hard for you to want to take a break because in other apps, and like the Apple Screen Times is absolute dog shit. It will just like, oh, you can just click and then unblock it, or you can, block screen time. You also can't, there's also a setting where you can't delete the app. Some people are really desperate; they'll delete the app so it breaks all this. It won't let you, so that's a pretty good thing as well. So it really keeps you really really accountable in this sense. And also instead of these breaks, it'll actually also give you an option for these mind games and like mind breaks, which is probably a lot better than whatever you were going to do in that time that you were on your phone. So yeah, over time it'll reduce your screen time, and that is very good. So yeah, I would recommend Opal. It is pretty good. I'll show you some of my steps. So right now I'm averaging 3 hours of screen time a day. Believe me, it used to be a lot worse. I used to average last year, or for at least half of the year, around 7 hours. So I really wasn't controlling my time. I was doing a lot of social media and stuff then, but still, that's not an excuse. As you can see here, like I reduced my screen time since I started. That was over 2 years ago since I started this app. 51%. So I reduced it by half. Probably a little bit more than half now because I was around 7 or 7.5 hours, and now I'm at 3. So that reduced my time, and that's literally the exact example that I gave here. So reducing it, still 11 years. I want to reduce it and keep reducing it even more. So hopefully I'll be able to get there. But yeah, I would recommend this. So you could have an ad block. So this is my first block. So this is block 1 for the day. Um, or no, that's at night. So this one's block 1 for the day, and then this other one over here is block 2 for the night. So at any given moment, so between these times, let's say 7 to 9, so that's 12 hours, and then until 6. So I basically only have 5 hours of time, 5 hours of space in between at any given point between my blocks that I can access my phone. And that's when I know I'm going to have not much else to do. But that's kind of on purpose as like one, a reward, but two, also it's strategic in the sense that I'm going to be like either at home or somewhere else, and I can use my laptop and not use my phone. And my laptop tends to be a lot more progressive and productive in terms of doing my goals and stuff like that. Because I don't have any games. I treat my phone similarly to my laptop because it's easy to say, oh, my phone is like very similar to my laptop, but I have access to games, Discord, and all the same things. But you can also do the same thing on here with similar apps and features. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk today. I hope this Fanboy and Chum Chum example kind of really shows you like in the long run, you're really spending a lot of time on your phone. And yeah, go download the screen blocker. It doesn't have to be Opal. It can be any one of these. Yeah, hope this helped.